Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najibatul Huda binti Jamaluddin. My matric number 1182787. So, the topic for my video is Al-Farabi's education of philosophy. So, first of all, I will introduce about the biography of Al-Farabi. His full name is Abu Nasir Muhammad Al-Farabi, also known in the West as Al-Farabius. He was born in 870 in Wasij, Turkestan. Al-Farabi studied in Baghdad under the guidance of the famous Greek translator who is Abu Bashir bin Yunus. His fame spread in Halab, which is Aleppo, where he was companion of the king. He had done several occupations in his life, such as taking the role of Qadi in court, being a teacher and a caretaker of a garden. Lastly, he was died at the age of 80 years in Damascus in 950. The concept of education, according to Al-Farabi, education is one of the most important social phenomena. It deals with the human soul and ensures that the individual is being prepared from an early age to become a beneficial member of the society. Al-Farabi used many terms that describe the concept of education. Among them are the terms ta'dib, which is the process of educating, taqwim, called the process of evaluating, tahzib, the process of training, then tashdid, the process of giving guidance, and lastly tarbiyah, called the process of forming. The real education, in his view, is adab, which is a combination of all the contents which drive build morals and ethics, as well as individual civilization. The perfect human being, which is called Al-Insan Al-Kamil, is who has theoretical virtue, intellectual knowledge and practical moral values, becoming perfect in his moral behavior. Al-Farabi distinguishes between ta'dib and ta'lim, where ta'lim is a process that only gives a verbal presentation of the theory without giving to the practical and the physics itself, while ta'dib is to form individuals to be ethical and proficient in something through the process of educating. A teacher needs to educate his student in addition to going through the process of teaching. Knowledge starts from the sense, then becomes the concept of the mind through imagination. We can see that from, in this case, pure science merged with the sense. Next, about the aims or the purpose of education according to Al-Farabi. Education can build and prepare a person to be a perfect society, which in itself can achieve a goal. Overall, it can be seen that education, according to Al-Farabi, is able to sum up the acquisition of values, knowledge, skills in an individual in a specific time and a specific culture. Therefore, the ultimate goal of education is to form a perfect individual and achieve the goal of humanity as a true servant of God in this world, which is to achieve a level of happiness. According to Al-Farabi, the purpose of human life and receiving this education is to achieve happiness and joy in life. To him, in order to be a complete human being, it is necessary to have four aspects of the priority of true happiness, which is the priority of theoretical thinking, the priority of practical thinking, attitude, and the action. Humans in general need to live in a community and need to together help each other to achieve the purpose of life, which is the highest happiness in the sight of Allah. The perfect society initiated by the leadership will be a model to others, which Al-Farabi places great emphasis on morals and good moral values, in addition to being further augmented by one's wisdom. Education is very important to all humans, as Allah say in the Quran, Surah Al-Mujadilah, verse 11, meaning that, O believers, when you are told to make room in gatherings, then do so. Allah will make room for you in His grace. And if you are told to rise, then do so. Allah will elevate those of you who are faithful and raise those gifted with knowledge in rank. And Allah is all aware of what you do. Next, also mention about education in Sunnah, meaning that whoever desires the world, then let him master knowledge. Whoever desires the hereafter, let him master knowledge. And whoever desires both, which is the world and the hereafter, let him master knowledge. Hadis riwayat Ahmad. According to Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he said that Ibn al-Nas al-Farabi has followed in the footsteps of Aristotle, who did not believe in God, angels, the Quran, his messenger, and the day of judgment. Those who have faith in the above cannot be considered as a true philosopher. People who believe in Islamic law are said to be ignorant. Furthermore, he does not believe in the book of Allah because Allah does not have a kalam. Those who are close to Islamic thought say that the book of Allah is faith, which is pouring or overflow from akal al-af'al, from the nas al-fadilah al-zakiyah. Thus, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah rejected al-Farabi as a mu'allim al-thani after Aristotle. Ibn al-Qayyim state that al-Farabi was a philosopher who disbelieved in God, angels, the Quran, the Prophet, and the hereafter. Here we can see that the impacts of education of al-Farabi from Islamic education method. There are two basic methods of education, especially in Islamic education. The first method is adapted for ordinary people with persuasive way. Method of persuasion can be done through speech and activity together between educators and learners, while the second method is demonstrative. This method, according to al-Farabi, educator, meaning that teacher, gave a speech to explain the subjects he teaches, like teach theories of virtue in society to his students. In addition, al-Farabi also adopted the Greek philosopher Plato method using dialogue or debate, stressed the importance of discussion and dialogue in teaching. In this context, in the method of dialogue, there is an argument and discourse. All the elements of al-Farabi teaching are still relevant until now because they can be applied in the education system and can be used mainly to teachers to teach the students. Indirectly, can expose to be an individual who is knowledgeable while practicing pure values in life. Thank you. That's all from me.